to the fact the fingers are enormously flexible, but without that thumb you cannot open a bottle cap. Try doing it. Nobody realizes this. Just now the gentleman brought water open. He should thank God for the thumb. And in the Mahabharata, Ekalavya is punished by his guru says, give the thumb. You can't be an archer. So this conflict is man-made. It has come due to the arrogance of scientists who think they can explain everything, but not all are like that. In America, there is a gentleman named Charles Towns. He won the Nobel Prize. He says, science explains the how of the universe. Spirituality explains the why of the universe. Abdus Salam, Pakistani scientist, won the Nobel Prize for his contributions to electroweak unification. It's a very complicated piece of work, brilliant piece of work. Somebody asked him the question. He was a very pious Muslim. He said, science is about this world, God is about this world, where's the problem? So it is wrong to think. As far as I am concerned, long before I came to science, I lived in India, I saw the poverty of India, and Gandhi lived when I lived. Gandhi was killed in 1948. So he was a contemporary of mine for 16 years. I remember very well the day he was assassinated. Next day, I heard the running commentary. I was in a village, we had no electricity. The park had a battery-operated radio, community radio. My friends and I sat there and heard the running commentary of the funeral. And his life was Bhagavad Gita in action. So I was already in an ambience of spirituality because of home life, community life. There was a lot of it in the ambience, in the school. And there were just two strands floating around. And Swami just put them together. So there was really no problem there. What advice do you have for us to promote science teaching for our continuity? Advice, instructions come from Dr. Reddy. I still need his, what you call, support till I get out from Los Angeles on 8th. And his agent is sitting here. But more seriously, Swami has already given the advice. First thing is, spare some time to think about the people who do not enjoy the blessings you have. Education, good health, home, and money. There are millions, even in America it has come to a stage where people who are software engineers are living in cardboard houses. That was unthinkable. America has invented poverty. So much so, Joseph Stiglitz, professor of economics in Columbia University, wrote an article. Abraham Lincoln said, by the people, for the people, of the people. Today America has become by the 1%, for the 1%, of the 1%. No, there is nothing to clap. It is a sad situation. That rich country has become blinded and become insensitive. So the first thing is you must give some time and become sensitive. Because if you are insensitive, people will ask the kind of questions they ask the old man. In America, the rich say the poor are poor because they are lazy, they don't want to work. Ask them to find the jobs. They make more machines and take away more jobs. At best, you get a job as a janitor or in Walmart, where they don't pay the daily wages. All that comes out of insensitivity. So first we must stop being insensitive. Next, when we do seva, let it not be done in what you call a bureaucratic manner. Red Cross does it that way. Many other people do it that way. They have to deliver, that's Federal Express. Take blankets from here and give this. Swami never wanted that. Says, my love must reach along with what you do. Are you giving real love? Do we have the time to give love? We don't have time to give love to ourselves, our body, not to our family, to the parents, to children. So we must start from there. Swami said the family, how many families meet in a day? People go out on their own, people come. The house has become a Grand Central or Penn Station platform. People eat breakfast separately and go. People, maybe they meet once in a while. And just now, I saw 2 days ago in some city on the TV, people work 70 hours a week. They are always wired up. And one fellow was talking to the NBC correspondent, sending an email with one, then listening to the phone and answering the phone with the microphone. And with the other hand, he is checking in the BlackBerry. He says, I am multitasking. He's very proud of it. In the midst of that, there is no time for God. So, I would say, spend 2 minutes thanking God for the blessings He has given. This country is beautiful, the air is beautiful, pure. You will have water. You have so much water. And you don't know how people are suffering for water in Ethiopia. They have to go 10 miles to get drinking water. In England, there was a time when many families tried to teach their children about hardship. One mother said, boys, 2 boys, this week, every day you will get only very limited amount of food, very simple food of the type Africans eat. At the end of the week, she said, I hope you understand. I know about this because BBC interviewed one of the boys, 8-year-old boy. He said, did you miss chocolates? The boy said, yes. Did you cheat? He said, no. Why did you not cheat but secretly go and eat some chocolate? He said, my mother asked me to understand the hardship of people in Africa. I like my mother, so to please her, I did not cheat. Another mother said, this week you are going to have very limited water. In Africa, they get hardly a bucket of water a day. You have to manage within that, including your bath and all. It's very tough for the kids. They are not used to that. So this is breeding sensitivity, because when they grow older, they occupy high positions, they will realize that position is what they owe to others. Swami always said that, told the students, you are what you are because of society, and your job is to go and serve society in some manner or the other. You serve society, I'll be happy. That's why we have a bhajan, Duina Dukhiyon se prem karo mera sai prasanna hoga. Show kindness and compassion to those who are sad, who are helpless, who are needy, who are in distress. Sai will be happy. So that's all, that's no difficulty. Now if you join together, there is the amplification factor. A plus B whole squared is more than A squared plus B squared. The whole is more than the sum of the parts, as they say in English. So there is an enormous amount of synergy. If you see a symphony orchestra, you see so many instruments. If you just have one instrument, that is a music of a kind. When you have a symphony orchestra, you can get very rich music. Not everybody plays the same instrument, but what music you can get. So think of that. So basically, we have to be selfless, at least to a point. We have to have the spirit of sacrifice, at least to a point. And we have to come together, at least to a point. Above all, for heaven's sake, let there be no ego. In India, ego is a big problem. Everybody will say, what is your position? You have to take orders from me. You report to me. Even yesterday, I was with a doctor in Denver. He said, when I went to Shantinaya Hospital, somebody said, you know what, you are supposed to report to me. The man who said that ought to realize this doctor has come all the way from America to serve Swami. Instead, he is conscious of his position. Swami talked about it very often. Let not ego come in the way. These are simple things. They can be done. How do you compare science to spirituality? Swami did it very simply. Science is below the senses, spirituality is above the senses. Science is bounded by space and time, spirituality is beyond space and time. If tomorrow the universe disappears, there are possibilities for it to disappear. Our universe won't disappear, but others will. But anyway, life will become extinct because the universe will become so cold. Not as cold as you think, it will become almost 0 degrees, absolute. no life can exist, and it will become very sparse. There will be only black holes left. Where did this universe come from? Science cannot answer those questions. Where did this life come from? What is life? Today science cannot answer. Science cannot answer the question, what is life, what is consciousness? So there are many things beyond science. Science is not the end of the world. Can you please explain the spiritual significance with doctors making incisions on little Satya's scalp? Well, basically that is what quacks do all the time. So what Swami was showing there was detachment. Things are being done to my body. I am not the body. That of course people don't understand even to this day, but if you want to read any spiritual meaning, that is it. Could you please expand the connection between young Satya behavior and World War II conclusion? World War II concluded because one party won, other party was defeated. Satya says, why do you fight the war? You can say World War II started because of this. Not many people are aware that the beginnings of World War II can be traced to the end of World War I. World War I, at that time, it was again between Germany and France. Germany on one side and France, England on the other side. It became a world war largely because the Commonwealth countries joined in the war, from Australia to Canada. And it was fought over, there were other circumstances also because the Ottoman Empire had to be dismantled and all that, all over Europe and the Middle East. When the German army surrendered on 11th November 1918 at 11 o'clock, that is the Armistice Day. Every year in British time, on 11th November at 11 o'clock there will be silence for 1 minute to mark the end of World War I. The Germans were humiliated very badly. And then afterwards, there came into existence in Germany a republic. The Kaiser was gone. He was the ruler of Germany. Monarchy was abolished. It was Kaiser Germany gave it to Weimar Republic. It was a good republic. But there was bad management and there was inflation. You know what a wheelbarrow is. A wheelbarrow full of currency had to be taken to buy one loaf of bread. Because Germany's wealth had been taken away to pay for the expenses of World War I, reparations. Germany was bankrupt. There was unrest, unemployment. And Hitler came to power and said, I'll set it right. He did set it right from the point of view of Germans. Industry boomed in Germany. People got jobs. They got salary, they got security. And they saw Hitler from that angle. But Hitler built a war machine. The Germans didn't care. He's giving me a job. And he's brought prosperity to Germany. They followed him. But Hitler had his own agenda. And that met with disaster. The United Nations was formed in 1944 to ensure that no more wars are fought. It was supposed to be a mechanism to end all wars. You go and Google and you will find that the number of people killed in conflict and war after World War II equals, if not exceeds, the number of people killed after World War II. In genocide, in wars, in conflicts. It's very strange. We have not yet learned how to stop wars. And we have formed this white elephant called United Nations. Shanti is different from peace. Swami once asked, what's the difference between Shanti and Prashanti? Why do you need two words? Of course we were stumped. Swami said, take a flower, it is beautiful, that is like Shanti, it is intrinsic. The flower has fragrance. That fragrance can be experienced by others. And they also feel peace. If you go to a saint who is in meditation, he is in peace, he is lost, he is cut off from the world. But when you are there, you experience noble vibrations, you become quiet. Swami said, in the old days, rishis used to go and meditate in the forest, tapas, meditation. Jungles, India was full of jungles. Even as late as 1939, we had 40,000 tigers. Today, if you cheat, we have 2,000 tigers. That is all inflation. They are gone. Forests are also gone. And Swami said, in those forests there were lions, tigers, and so many wild animals, scorpions, snakes. How did the rishis survive? They had no protection, no bodyguard. He said when they meditated, they were so absorbed in God, they had a shield of love. And even if tigers came, they would go away quietly. There will be a tiger outside, but not in. So love has that power. So we have to now, young Satya was a manifestation of that love in an embryonic form. As Swami, his love reached all over the world. Just, I showed you so many slides. How did those people come? Swami often used to say, have I sent any invitation to these people? No. How do they come here? They come here in search of something which they cannot get in Walmart or any other shopping center, anywhere in the world. That is size prema. That is selfless love. So many times I heard him say, there is no selfishness from top to toe, head to toe, top to bottom. So, World War II represents man's folly. Swami represents the intrinsic capability man has, because he is an aspect of the divine. He is an embodiment of divine love. That's why Swami said, Prema Swaruplara, embodiments of divine love. We have shut that off, thrown away the key into the Atlantic Ocean, or maybe Pacific, which is bigger. And not content with it, we are polluting the two oceans. With the discovery of the Higgs boson particle or the God particle, is the gap between God and science narrowing. The God particle was a name that was given to it by Letterman because he first wanted to call it that goddamn particle. People said, don't be blasphemous, you will get flack from the church, so he called it God particle. God particle solves a piece of the scientific mystery. It's very important for science. But God is far more than the God particle. As Francis Collins says, the human brain is the most complex organism in the entire universe, and he is absolutely correct. Francis Collins is the scientist in America who headed the Human Genome Project. He started as an atheist. At the end of the project, when he saw the nature of the human genome, he was stunned. He became a believer in God. So an atheist was converted to God just by doing science, because he saw the power of God, he saw the wonder of God, he saw the beauty of God, he saw the mystery of God, he saw the magic of God. And that is what Krishna reveals to Arjuna in the 11th chapter. You think I am just ordinary Krishna, 5 feet 6? No. I am the whole cosmos and beyond. Take a look. And he gives you the powers to see that. Swami used to be asked, Swami showed that. Very simple, go and look at the beauty of. We say this is beautiful, but do we realize what that beauty is? I remember meeting, in those days Kashmir was peaceful. I took a vacation to go to Kashmir. And we had an architect in atomic energy, he was a Christian. He came there to design some buildings. We were there in Gulmarg, beautiful place, very beautiful. He was there lying on the grass and I was sitting next to him talking. He had a vodka in his hand, he was drinking. He said, it's so beautiful, why do we need churches for God? And Swami always liked nature. So next time you see nature, see God in nature. He says nature is the vesture of God. So, Higgs boson is a big deal for us. But where God is concerned, we sing the bhajan, Brahmanda Nayaka. He is much more than that. That God is in us as the body, as the life power, and as the power of the mind, and also conscience. So we don't realize God is in us. When Swami said, I am in you, we don't pay attention. Krishna has explained it in detail in the Gita. In just a little. I try to explain it whenever I have time, but now I am out of time. So I think I'll stop here. And this is an assignment. How is God in you? Hopefully you will discover God, and that's a bigger discovery than finding God particle. It's only a particle. See God in you everywhere. And then see same God everywhere in the universe. You are ready to serve God. Thank you. God bless you.